What we're going through right now with the increased food costs because of all the different factors, whether it's poor crop yield or the cost of or the use of corn as fuel as opposed to food, or whether it's just the cost of transporting food across the country, it is having an impact on what we individually do. So very obviously, when you translate that into schools, it is causing a lot of how are we going to make it work? Where are we going to shift? And what, certainly we're dealing with at the university is looking at what is available and what can we use less of. And for me as a registered dietitian, this is a perfect time to make portion control a focus. Because obviously if we can bring portions down to a more appropriate level, and this would apply in a lot of schools. Many of our younger kids, the grade school, the school lunch program does a lot of dictating their portions already, but if you're out of that school lunch kind of program, it's a good opportunity to think about, are our portions as healthy as they could be? Could we cut back, obviously improve health, but then save cost? What we see in school health is an evolution to a new point where school wellness is a focus. Schools have had to focus much more tightly on health. So the portions have come down somewhat, and what's on the plate has changed a bit. So there has to be more offerings of what tend to be less expensive foods, the vegetables, the fruits, the grain foods. So it's a good thing from that perspective. However, what schools have tried to do the last couple of years is with their fruits, their vegetables, is be a little bit more diverse, a little bit more variety. It's going to be harder now because the costs are going to go up. As fruit and vegetables are out of season, and of course that's what we're going to see the change in. In the winter, berries are going to be too expensive to put on a school menu. What likely we're going to see because of this, and I know we've certainly had this discussion here at the university, is menu planning that involves, when you've got the leftover meatloaf, what else can you put that into? Instead of providing just a piece of meat, how can you get it into the casseroles, the spaghettis, that kind of thing? All schools that get National School Lunch have to work within the guidelines to meet National School Lunch requirements. So those draw some boundaries for them as well, but any creative ways of utilizing the less expensive foods, which tend to be, again, your grain foods, your frozen vegetables, canned fruits, things along that line, the beans. It's going to enhance the nutrition but hold that dollar part down.